What's up, people?
Hey, how are you, folks? Happy August 1st.
Has it been a minute or what?
Happy August 1st.
Yeah, it's August already, middle summer.
How's everybody's summer going? I hope very well. We had a heat wave for a while, but it's summer.
I love this summer, and it's so saddening to watch it kind of like winding down, you know.
It is because
I always had to start off with such great plans and stuff, and just, I'm just going to turn to the side a little bit. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, we all start off with good plans,
and I end up doing like none of it, to be honest with you. It's like
it just fades.
I end up having to do more work than anything else.
Of course.
Yeah. So lately, I've been working on my house upstate. I'm sorry, I got the cat hair. He's coming over now. He's going to step on me. He wants to.
Yeah, we've been busy this summer. For sure.
Man, my cat. My desk is situated like right in front of us. It's where the camera is. You're literally on top of my desk right now.
And that's the cat's bed now.
My cat took over my drawer on my desk.
That's his apartment.
That's his apartment.
He pays the rent, right?
There he comes. Come on, bro.
Right?
Come here.
He pays the rent, right?
This is my boogie.
This is my boogaloo. And he pays the rent.
And he wants his bed. That's what he wants. He wants his. Oh, I think he wants his food. Hold on. Let me give him his food. Yeah. Come on. That's what he wants.
But I hope everybody's having a nice summer, folks. Hope you're having some good plans. You did your plans out there.
Yeah. I've been working on my roof on my house upstate. This roof has been bad for God knows how long. I should have done it a long, long time ago. I didn't get around to it. So now I'm doing it, you know, but I had to pick like the hottest weekends to do it, which was ridiculous.
Well, anyway, we pretty much had a hot summer, so every weekend was pretty hot.
So we hope you missed us. We definitely missed doing the show, and we definitely missed
you guys.
We did. You know,
just had some technical difficulties.
As you can see, we're back to 2. We lost the guy, which, to be perfectly honest with you, I was really nice. No, I'm going to tell you a story. First off, I want to
make this shit up.
I want to preface this with Leroy has his own way of thinking. We have our way of thinking. The good thing is we both respect that. In other words, Leroy respects our way of thinking, and he respects his. The problem is Leroy's a relatively sensitive guy, where I'm kind of not, and Kerry really isn't. Kerry's probably the least sensitive out of all of us. No, that's true. Kerry will rip you to shreds. I'm not joking. He'll rip you to shreds for the fun of it. Me, I'll just do it if you piss me off. Leroy won't do it at all. He'll actually just agree with you and walk away. He's just a super nice guy, and I'm just assuming that he got some bad
reviews.
Yeah, bad, correspondence.
Right, because his viewers didn't have our beliefs.
Yeah. Anyway, but
pretty much common sense.
Listen, we love you, Lee, and if you ever want to come back and do the show with us, you're more than welcome.
Of course, we love you, Lee.
Yeah, we've got nothing but love for you, kid.
You sick, twisted.
We've known you for 50 years. Ain't no thoughts going to get in the way of that type of friendship.
Lee, anyway, we grew up together. I just walked on the block. We grew up on the same block. I just looked at our old buildings.
But I got to tell you,
memories.
I got to tell you that I called this from the first shot, from the first show. Ask Kerry. Kerry will tell you.
Yeah.
The very first show, I said, he's not going to stay with us. He's not going to. He's too sensitive. He can't handle And I don't mean that in a bad way, dude. I think you're a wonderful person, believe me. But there's certain.
I like some of the men out there have no
certain people who just who can allow shit to just bounce off, and certain people who take it to heart. And God love you, man. I wish I was that type of sensitivity. I just majority of the time don't give a shit what people think.
Really.
So anyway, getting back to where we're at. We're back at the show. We're trying to get. I also had heavy technical issues with my system, and I had to go.
Yeah, we lost.
It cost me $170, man.
Yeah,
$170 to get my mic back.
But didn't we say a while back that we're not no technology here?
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I like this because I can talk to you people.
And it looks cool. You got to see it.
I set it up pretty good, actually. I really did. And I took out all of the effects and stuff because I just think this is to keep it basic, and you're probably not going to mess anything up. So let's start talking about what's been going on. There's so much has happened, man.
Very sad.
Well, I want to go back. What I'd like to bring up is I don't know if you guys know about this Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf deal. I don't know if we got into that at any point. Did we? I don't think we did.
No, we don't know. It was the Texas kids.
Right. What happened was there was a track meet, and there's 2 brothers. They were twins. Were at the track meet, and basically they had their own tent. And the reason that they have these tents, you're literally not allowed to be under these tents if you don't go to the school. So this other kid, Carmelo Anthony, decided. First off, he was cutting school to be there. It wasn't that he was. It wasn't that he met the eligibility to be running track. He wasn't running track. He was just there as a spectator, and he should have been actually because he was cutting school to be there as a spectator.
Right.
But he decided he was going to go under the school's tent, and when Austin Metcalf went over to him and said, "Listen, you can't be here. You got to go. Whatever." He turned around on Austin Metcalf or something, and there were words exchanged, whatever it was,
just words.
And I think he even got to a point where, like, he was being maybe I don't know if he got touched but I know he said something like "touch me again" or something of that effect. And he pulled out a knife and stabbed him. Now here's the issue. Okay, first off, listen, I would have understood a fight. That would have been, I would have gotten that. That would have, not a big thing. I would even understand if it was a fight. Now you're talking. By the way, I want to explain something to you here. You're talking to someone who has experience. Okay, in this situation, because I've been stabbed.
Sure.
He was there, so he can tell you if I'm lying or not. I was stabbed, and I was stabbed because I beat somebody in a fight, and I let them up. And when I let them up, that's when I got stabbed. You don't even know it happens. By the way, it's so quick. I was walking away. He turned around to me and goes, "You're bleeding." I was like, "Really?"
True.
But anyway,
I didn't even know it at the time.
Yeah. So and it was just
fast.
The guy was older than me. We got into a fight. I got on top of him, and I told him, "Listen, it's over. I'm going to let you up." And I let him up. And then when I turned around to walk away, I'm not going to use the term. We were different races, and he asked me if I was still tough white boy, and I turned around to him and I said, "Yeah, I think I am." And I went to hit him, and that's when I got stuck. Anyway, so you're talking to somebody who's been in this situation.
Right.
So I'm not talking from lack of experience, all right? But I would have even, and like to tell you also to finish that story up, I didn't press charges on him.
No,
I nothing. I mean, I healed. We lived. When I say close, we live in the same
building.
All right. See, so I'm not bullshitting you. We both came out at the same time.
Same building.
Because I wasn't even expecting to tell you the story. We live in the same building, and the cops came. They were like, "Do you want to press charges?" And I said, "No, there's no reason. It's over. I'm fine. Like a couple stitches, I'm good." So that's the way, like, in my opinion, people just handle it. It's over. If this had been, they were wrestling on the floor and Austin Metcalf was on top of them and choking them and he was losing air and he stabbed him, I get that. That's self-defense.
Right. Self-defense.
Okay, that's a different story. But even so, he should have had the knife there. Okay, first off, you're at a school event,
knife to school.
And this kid has also been suspended
for bringing a knife
prior. Okay. Anyway, so then there was a big GoFundMe or Go Send Me or whatever money campaign.
Yeah, GoFund.
Where they gave $600,000 to this kid, to this murderer.
To the murderer.
And then they had the nerve to badmouth SWAT and do everything else to the family of the kids. Oh, the kid died in his twin brother's arms, man. In his twin brother's arm. I mean, he was holding him, trying to put pressure on the wound to stop the bleeding. It was, stabbed him in the heart.
But he stabbed him in the heart. For no reason.
Yeah.
Just all.
And there was really no reason.
All because he was told that he had to leave.
Yeah. And
which he should have left.
Yeah. I mean, it's really simple. This is what the problem is. And this I have spoken about before, because I've heard families turn around and say, I have to tell him, I have to have a talk with my son. All right. And note, I didn't say what color the families were, and I didn't say what nationalities they were, because the truth is, I've had to have a talk with my son. Okay, what I tell my son is, and my son has had issues with the police where he's actually been in the right, and he ended up on the bad end of the stick before you judge that too. So for me to tell him this, it's actually kind of hard for him to accept it because he's already been screwed over by the cops. Anyway, so I've had to have it where I said, listen, you can't win in the street. They're not judges. They're not. You could turn around and say, try to explain the whole situation to them. It does not matter. Okay? They don't care at that point. All they know is they have to restore order to the situation. That's it.
Whatever's going on.
And once you allow that to happen, everything goes easy. Once you allow order to be restored, everything is easy. Because they're not worried. Oh man, my poor dog is chewing a bone. They're not worried about you killing them. They're not worried about you pulling a gun. They're not. They have the order. They've established dominance in that situation,
Right.
and you've got to allow them to establish dominance. You've got to follow what they say. Later on, it can all be taken up in a courtroom situation.
Right. In front of
But
a judge, right?
at that moment, you're in the street, in the middle of
And
melee.
like you just said, they have to control what's going on there.
All they want to do is go home. They just want to go home. Now, I'm going to say something else here. Some of them, a little overly ambitious, let's say that. And I get that. Okay, I get that. I've dealt with that from cops from across the spectrum, from African American to Caucasian, where I've dealt with cops that were, overly ambitious. I like that word. I like that's the way to put it. And again, you can diffuse that situation too by just going with it. Swallow your pride for 10 minutes, and everybody goes home.
Right.
And everybody goes home.
That's right.
And there's no issues. It takes 10 minutes.
Right, 'cause we've been in situations. Right.
Now, think of the reverse of it. The reverse of it is this man has a gun. This man has pepper spray. This man has
taser.
Help. Yeah, this man, he has help. It's like you're going against a gang, basically.
Right. You have no help.
And even if you had help, it don't matter because
you're losing.
Yeah, and the ones who are going to jail is not them. It's you. So you're going to have to either fight this from outside bars or behind bars. It's your choice. It's just about being nice and respectful. I drive a motorcycle. Here's a great example. I drive a motorcycle. I've been pulled over on my bike countless times. You know the first thing I do when I get pulled over on my bike? I turn the bike off and take the key out. Do you know why I do that? Because now he's not worried about me running with the bike.
Right.
Okay? He's not worried about that. That's one less worry he has to think of.
Right.
Do I jump off the bike? No. I sit on the bike and I raise my hands up to my shoulder, holding the keys in one hand.
That's right.
And what that's telling him is, listen, I'm going to hear you and I'm going to follow what you say. And then he comes over and he'll go, license and registration. And I'll say, yes, officer. I'm not going to say, what was I doing? Because that's not the question right now.
No.
That's not what you're there for right now.
No, just hand it to him.
Right now, he wants to make sure that your bike or your vehicle is legal. That's the first thing he's worried about. Because he's going to have to if it's not, he's going to have to get a tow truck there immediately because you're not driving it anyway.
Right.
So that's the first thing. And the other thing is it's going to establish your identity. Okay, it's going to tell him who you are. It's going to tell him whether the vehicle is stolen. If it's stolen, now he has to look at you in a totally different way.
Sure.
Now you could have a weapon. You could have this. This is all what he needs to know.
You could be on the run.
Give him your license. Give him your registration.
And just sit there.
And sit there and wait. You're either gonna wait there or you're gonna wait in his car. You take the pick.
And the best thing to do is wait there because he's gonna go back to his car. He or she's gonna go back to their car
and
look it up, and they're gonna say, "Okay, he's good."
Yeah. And then the other thing is the truth.
Unless you got something to hide.
But the truth of the matter,
right?
No. But honestly, the truth of the matter is, if you listen to what I'm telling you right now, and you do what I'm telling you, I can almost guarantee you that short of an accident, short of driving drunk, short of speeding 30, 40 miles over the speed limit, okay, you're going to walk away. Right. And it's with a warning. Right. Because once he feels respected, he's going to respect you. Right. And then he's going to turn around and say, I don't really want to have to fill out this paperwork. This guy's being a nice guy. He's doing the right thing. He gets that he did something wrong and he's a respectful guy. I'm going to give him a warning. And then I don't have to do the paperwork. Right. He don't have to go to court. Right. There's nobody paying nothing. He'll be on his way. Right. End of story. That's what generally will happen. Right. Okay. I swear to you, that's generally what will happen.
It will, if you just, like you say.
But when you start with all the bullshit.
And resisting.
About, I didn't do anything. I know my rights.
And resisting.
Listen.
Right? Because.
Once you make something hard.
I see.
Once you make something hard on them, they can make it exponentially hard on you. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. They can take it to a totally other level. Right. And I mean, they can look for shit that they weren't looking for before. Right. That's right. Why do that?
Why would you put yourself through it? But people do though. You know that, right? People do that.
It's just dumb.
Now, like in this case, we're talking about the Carmelo Metcalf case, is all he had to do was leave.
Yep.
If he would have left, but you know what? My brother said it while back. He was there for a reason, to cause trouble, because there was no reason for this young man to be there. So, and like my brother said, if they would have called the cops, the cop would have came, and then it would maybe would have been solved.
Now, a while back, I also had a theory, and it's changed a little bit. That you remember the theory I had? The theory I had was that remember, it's two different schools. So I was thinking at some point they ran into each other, or there was some weird thing going on. Like maybe it was two separate gangs. Maybe it was the football teams. I don't know what it was, but somehow this was like set up. And I said that he was sent there. He was sent there to do this, because to go there with the knife expressly to attract me. What are you going to attract me?
You're not having steak afterwards, are you?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. And we'll get into that also. We'll get into something like this with the Kohlberg case when we talk about that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so that now all of a sudden, I don't know how true this is, and I can't stand behind it, but I can tell you that I just heard it.
But you're right, though.
And it's something I couldn't figure out before that kind of all of a sudden, like the ball falls into the hole. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I couldn't figure out why the dad, the Metcalf dad, okay, the one who got killed, his dad is like, I forgive him. It's not a racial. He's doing like kind of everything to calm it down, to like, defuse it or something like that. And I couldn't figure out why, because I'm saying to myself, if this was my kid,
you're not having no sympathy. I can tell
the best thing you could do is put me in solitary. That's the best thing you could do, is just put me in solitary. Because if I get my hands on anyone or anything, and it doesn't even have to be the right person, I'd just be so freaking lunacidal.
Right.
I don't even know if that's a word. It just came out. Anyway,
no, you can't control.
And believe me, I'll be homicidal too. I mean, I'll be looking to kill somebody. I'm not joking.
Right. When you hear more about this case and you see more about this case, you're going to agree with us.
So what I'm saying is, like, the dad was just being too cordial and too accepting. And now I'm hearing something about there was a payment for this. There was some sort of a hit almost put on this kid. I don't know how true it is. Again, I can't tell you that, but there's talk of like offshore accounts and texts that like let me know when it's over, that the cash will be there. And it was like 12 hours before the actual incident. I don't know how true it is. I can't tell you that, but but it kind of makes sense now when I look at it from another perspective, and I say to myself, why did the Metcalf father be so complacent in this whole thing? And that's the wrong word, because that would mean that compliant. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. I don't know. Anyway, why he let it just kind of form around him is what I'm kind of trying to say. And if there was
any outrage,
if there was something, and now again, I don't know anything about this, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything. But if there was some sort of a black market type of thing going on, where I'm just going to use the term drugs, but I don't know that that's what it is. It could be anything. Literally, it could be literally anything. But if there was something that was, on the black market that the Metcalf dad was, was messing with and maybe owed money on, again, I don't know, but
we're not sure.
They might have went after the kid using this other kid, again.
Nobody knows anything yet.
Anyway, but as far as
in the courts.
As far as right now goes, there's a lot of bullshit going on about it. There's a guy named Charleston White. Check him out. In my opinion, he's a moron. I'm not gonna. In my opinion, he's a moron. First off,
these people shouldn't even be on the air.
2 months before okay, so now he's all pro Carmelo Anthony. 2 months prior to that, he was anti Carmelo. He deserved to be dead. He deserved death. He deserved this. Somebody paid him. Somebody lined his pocket. That's what happened. And okay, I get it. You want to make some money. That's fantastic. But the bullshit that's going on. There's a reporter named Sarah Fields who's getting a lot of threats over this and stuff. Listen, you could try to taint the jury pool, and that's I guess you have that option to do it, But the more you talk about this like that, the more ridiculous everything is sounding.
Right.
And it's just kind of making it worse. So really what from my humble opinion, you're doing a disservice to both the Anthony family and the
And
Metcalf
Metcalf.
family.
You're doing service to both families, yes.
Let it ride itself out. Let it do.
Well, let the courts take its.
Because in reality, we all understand the only reason that you're making such a big thing out of it is that there's a lot of cash involved,
Right.
and you're looking for the cash.
Right.
Okay, so
let the courts handle it. Let the judge and the good Lord above take
let
it.
the kid be the main thing. And I'm not saying that I want him to get off, because I really don't. I hope he actually. I'm telling you honestly. I hope he gets
what he deserves.
Yeah, I hope he gets life. I mean, that's the truth.
He
took
life.
a life. This kid will never come back. This kid that he killed had I believe, a 4.0 grade point average.
Oh yeah.
He was a ridiculous sports kid. I mean, he did like every sport known, like into that school.
He was doing track, football.
He was just an amazing kid, and he didn't deserve this.
He didn't deserve to die. No.
And this other kid, listen, I feel bad for him that he's going to lose his entire life too, but that was his choice. He chose to pull that knife. He could have put up his hands.
Right.
He could
chose
have
to take the knife to school.
I've heard some people turn around and go, "Oh well, Austin Metcalf should have went and got somebody like a security guard and whatnot." Well, you know what? If Carmelo Anthony thought he was supposed to be there, he could have done the same thing. He could have just turned around and said, "You want me to leave? All right, I'm going to leave. Go and get like somebody of
whoever's around.
Yeah, whoever is is running the situation."
And they got security guards.
I mean, if he feels that he was right, and explain to them and have them come over and tell Austin, listen, no, he can sit here. But to pull out a knife and stab somebody, first off, having the knife there is premeditation. That's number one.
That's right.
You're believing you're going to have to kill somebody, or you're going to have to stab them, or whatever.
And you're not going out for steak dinner because you're going out for steak dinner. They got knives.
Right. That's premeditated. So having it there, and the other thing is now they're saying that it's like what do they call that? Swiss Army knife. Now, Swiss Army knife, you got to pull out like this. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like a red knife that has like all of these like utilities attached to it, like a spork.
Yeah.
A spork. I love that word.
Right.
That's a spoon with the fork cut out of it. It's got like a file. It's got like a fish scaler. Got nail clipper, scissors.
You name it.
This is all in this knife. I could show you one actually. It's funny. I got one right freaking here. Look at this. Oh my God. Look. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's my Vinny Barbarino. Oh my God.
What?
Okay. So, oh my God.
Where?
Who? No. Okay. So that's what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that. That's what it pretty much looks like. This is a medium one. It's not even like a big one.
Right.
To get that knife out of there, I'd be here for about 10 minutes trying to pull this sucker out.
Yeah, those little things. If anybody knows these,
it's stuck in there. Number one, I got to get another thing to pull it out. Somehow, he had this in his bag and he got it out, opened up, and stabbed him in the chest. Now, the only way you're going to do that is if it's open already. The only way is if it's open already, because I defy you to open this in under 2 seconds. It's just it's like. So literally, I don't have any nails. You can see. So maybe with nails it'd be a little bit easier.
Right.
But there's no way this kid watched him pull this out, open it up,
and stand
there and wait to be stabbed.
Right. No.
He would have saw the knife and ran. He would have went and got the coach or something like that. That's absurd.
Right. Not even that. They showed the knife that he had.
And this wasn't the knife, by the way. I'm just saying this is what
big.
Right. This is what they're saying, that this is what they're trying to imprint in your mind. That this is what it was.
Not true, people.
It wasn't. It was like I don't want to use the term.
Like a kitchen knife.
Yeah, like
a steak knife.
Yeah, right? Well, no, it was a little more like a. I'm trying to think what you would.
About that long.
It was like a Rambo type knife, but smaller. But like it's a fillet. It's a kitchen knife, but it looks like a mini sword.
Right.
It's a kitchen knife, but it's like a.
It wasn't that
an outdoor type kitchen knife, I guess you'd say. I'm not an expert on knives by any means.
Now they're trying to tell you they use that.
And it's just and the reason that they're doing that is because now they can say, well, it wasn't a premeditated attack. He wasn't carrying a knife. He was carrying tools. And if you listen to the funny part is, even this got racist. And I'll tell you why. Because when they brought this up, they were like, just like those white boys bring to school, those Swiss Army knives, those. Listen, okay? Stop with the white and black shit, okay? We all have access to Swiss Army knives, all right? If you want to
take later race.
I don't mean to be a pain in the ass.
This was a race too.
But if you're talking about something like sickle cell anemia, okay, you want to play the white and black, that's fine because that actually applies. But don't use it to something that it doesn't apply. It's like saying, You're going to use the white and black card for blue jeans. Oh wait, we did that, didn't we? No,
Yeah.
now we're racist because we wear jeans and they happen to be blue. The Sydney Sweeney shit.
Yeah.
But Beyonce wore the same thing, and that was okay. That was fine.
And not for nothing, Beyonce was a very attractive young lady.
Listen, anybody.
She looked perfect. She looked beautiful in those ads.
If you've got
Now, why not Sydney Sweeney?
Right.
She looks beautiful.
If you've got something like that in
Mental.
your mind, and you're thinking that if you see racism everywhere, guess what? You're the racist.
Right.
Right. You're the racist.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, and I'm not lying.
Yeah,
I'm telling you straight up.
If that's a racist thing, please comment because
please.
I mean, like he just said, Beyonce did it, and look, we're saying it right
I
here.
swear
She
to
was
you.
beautiful. She's a beautiful
Yeah.
woman. She looked perfect. Sydney Sweeney, perfect. What's the difference?
I swear to you,
He just told you.
I can't
Race.
figure out. I can't
They're
figure out
mental.
why people are so hung up on this. I wish I could figure it out. I
Mental
don't get
disorder.
it, man. I don't get it. I understand. First off, let's talk a little bit. Okay, wait. How far are we into this?
26.
Okay, so we'll go 45. That sounds cool because I want to teach something about racism actually right now. Okay. Okay, you guys check me on this. All right. This is most people who
This is very sad.
talk about slavery, for example, know nothing
Nope.
about slavery.
Nope.
Nothing. Okay.
And I agree with him because can I just say one thing?
Sure.
When I was working at my job, no lie, I worked in the area, and of course, it's black and white people, somewhat, okay. And the lady, African American lady, was sitting there, and they were talking about slavery. And I happened to be there, and she said, "Oh yeah, they came and kidnapped them and took them." I said, "Who kidnapped who?" I started laughing. She yelled at me like, "What am I laughing at?" I said,
Okay.
"What history are you looking at?"
Okay, hold it. Let me tell you
She
something.
thought they were kidnapped.
No,
Right.
let me tell you something. Okay, first off, the first slaves that they come across were the Vulcans. Okay, and they were enslaved by, I think, like by the Europeans. It was like the Danish or somebody like. It was their own people. Okay,
Mhm.
and the reason that people were enslaved was because of something called availability, right? And what availability was whoever you had around. That was, I don't want to use the term caste system because that's like an Indian type of thing, but it's kind of along that line. The ones who had nothing ended up as the slaves. It's just the way it was.
Mhm.
You got, and then later on, indentured servants and all of this bullshit. But the ones who became slave were the ones who had nothing.
Like then they came up with names.
Well, wait. Here's what happened. Okay, so first off, it's a misnomer that Africans were brought here en masse to become slaves. Okay, nobody had that type of money to do that. Nobody had the money to bring 100,000 slaves or 1,000 slaves or 100 slaves that long of a trip at that point in time. Nobody had the technology or the amount of money it would have taken to do it. Okay, so that didn't happen. That didn't happen until years and years later. Okay, many hundreds of years later, and even it wasn't to the degree that it's been brought up. Okay, for the most part, and you can go back to the Jews and during biblical days, and
Yeah, really.
you can look, and slaves were just the availability of the people around. Had nothing to do with racism. Nothing. That didn't happen until much later. Like
No,
I
because
can't
like
give
you
it
just
a
said,
year.
the Jews were slaves. They were white. They were white. They were,
And the only
like you said, no race.
the only reason that happened is because the black, well, actually, I don't mean to say this, but the African American kings were selling their people
Right.
to the people who came there. We weren't going over there and
Kidnapping.
throwing bags over their head and
And
bonking them
kidnapping.
on the head, and they were being sold by their own leaders.
Right. African
Okay,
kings sold their people.
Yeah, so like there's a whole lot in there that people just don't know.
No.
All they know is
They didn't pick up the history book.
my great uncle was a slave on this. Yeah, that may be the case, but it's not the reasoning that you've come up with. You've bred this whole idea in your head,
Right.
and you're just incorrect. And you should really take a look and see. Again,
That's
I'm
right.
doing all this off the top of my head, so if I'm wrong, you can correct me. But I'm not that far wrong. I know I'm not that far wrong.
No.
I might be wrong on the Vulcan. I believe it was the Vulcans. I could be. Again, I'm 61, so my mind is going
So
too.
I know you're right about the kings though, because
That's
kings
100%
over
true.
there.
And no one
that's
had the
true.
money to bring that many people that far for slavery. It just wasn't the case. When they were there, they got sold a few here and there, and they ended up bringing them over here, and then they had kids and this and that. And it just kind of like they were just in that crevice that they were being slaves. It's not
right.
And the idea of it being a racist thing, okay, because it really wasn't. I mean, that's the truth. They were treated. I'm not saying they were treated good. Some were treated good, some were treated bad. I mean, that's just the way it is. You got, look at, who was it, Monroe or Jefferson with I forget her name, Mary something or other. She ended up being like his concubine, where he was like having an affair with her. And I can't remember her name now offhand. Mary something, I think. Anyway, no, you're thinking of Jesus with Mary. No, Mary somebody or other. I can't think of her name right now. But in some situations, and I'm not saying anyone should be a slave. I want to make that clear.
Nope.
But in some situations, it was almost like family. They were treated like family to a lot of degrees. In some situations, they were treated horribly like animals. It depended upon
the person
who owned them, I guess.
Right.
Right. And no one should own anybody. I'm not saying that that's the case.
No.
But, you have to also realize that what happened back then, we weren't the people we are today.
No.
Okay. Today it's funny because we say that, but the truth is, there are countries where you have slaves still.
It's still king.
You have slaves still. The Uyghurs, you have, there's actually a lot of countries that still, the Saudis have a certain situation.
Sure.
And yet we're so bogged down on the idea of what was. Why don't you take that same impetuosity towards your idea of what was done to you in the past and apply it to help these people?
Right. And those are your real kings.
They need it.
Right. Those are your real kings.
Your situation's over.
Right.
So why don't you get somebody else out of their situation?
Right. That's true.
Sorry.
Nobody knows their history. They gotta look up.
And let's not forget one thing. There's not one person alive today that was a slave or owned a slave. That's number one. Number two, only about, I think it's 7 to 10% of the population owned a slave. Multiple slaves was like, 3 to 5% probably. But by multiple, I mean 3 or more. I'm not saying 2 because for the most part, they were taking like, a husband and wife team or whatever. But for the most part, there's only about 7 to 10% of the citizens who owned it, which means 90% weren't what you would consider racist or weren't what you would consider slave owners because they didn't own slaves.
Those are your real kings. Not like here we have everybody protesting that we had a king here.
All right, I think we're going to call that a show. Maybe we'll do another one before we'll shut this one down.
You want to talk about that Goldberg guy?
Yeah, no, we'll do that. We'll shut this show and we'll do the next show right after this. But we won't connect them. This way, these people don't have to watch what they don't want to watch. If they want to watch about this, they can watch it. Cool. And if they want to watch about Kohlberger, they can go to that one. Cool. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You get me?
You got it.
I gotta get some gabagool. I gotta get some gabagool. All right, so listen, guys. Welcome back.
We missed you guys.
We did miss you.
And please send in your comments.
And if you can get some people to watch us, we really would appreciate it because, truth be told, at some point I got to start making some money off of this because it's starting to cost me money now fixing this and keeping everything up. Listen, I just barely get by as it is right now. So, I'm being blunt with you. I'm telling you the truth. I take care of everybody. You know what I mean? It's not just me. If I just took care of myself, I'd be a rich guy. But I take care of everybody. Yeah, right? He does. He really does. So, right? I got to make sure a family eats. I got to make sure that they're taken care of and all this. So a lot of my money goes to all of that stuff. But as I said, this is starting to cost me a little money now. So I may have to figure out a way to start, either doing a slight charge or a donation or something, because tech, you get it today and it's outdated tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
Anyway, guys, but we'll worry about that when it comes up. But meanwhile, we'll just keep doing it this way until
we're good. We're happy to be back as well.
Hopefully you find us worth doing it. It's where we can do more. Anyway, guys, so nice to be back. Missed you. Have a great day.
Enjoy, folks.
Hey.